object gliding with purpose until it struck high-voltage power lines and dropped to the ground.
So, imagine finding a mysterious metal ball in your backyard that completely defies everything we know about science. Now imagine that this ball just sent out a second signal, like it's trying to talk to us. Sound like something from a science fiction movie, right? Well, this is actually happening right now, and what scientists are discovering is absolutely mind-blowing. Stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you will change the way you think about history, technology, and maybe even our place in the universe. Back in March of this year, something extraordinary happened in a small town called Buga in Colombia, South America. People were going about their regular day when suddenly the sky lit up. Witnesses looked up and saw something falling fast in the heavens, moving in ways that didn't make any sense. Some people said they saw it hit high-voltage power lines before it came crashing down. There were sparks flying everywhere, and the whole thing looked like something straight out of an alien movie. But this wasn't Hollywood. This was real life. When the object finally landed in a field, people rushed over to see what it was. What they found was absolutely bizarre. It was a sphere about the size of a basketball, made of some kind of metal. But this wasn't just any ordinary metal ball. This thing was covered in strange symbols and markings that nobody recognized. It had these tiny holes all over it, and when people looked closer, they could see what looked like fiber optic threads inside. You know, the kind of super thin cables we use for high-speed internet today. Except this thing, as we're about to find out, is way, way older than the internet. The sphere ended up in the hands of a Mexican journalist named Jamie Mawson, who's known for investigating mysterious phenomena. He held a big press conference in July to show the world what had been found. Scientists from all over got interested, and that's when things started getting really weird. A doctor named Stephen Greer, who studies potential evidence of extraterrestrial intelligence, got permission to have the sphere tested as certified laboratory. The lab he chose was at the University of Georgia, and they have some of the best scientists and equipment in the world for figuring out how old things are. Now here's where your jaw is going to drop. The scientists needed to figure out how old this sphere was, but there was a problem. The sphere is made of aluminum alloys, which is a type of metal. You can't use normal dating methods on pure metal because it doesn't contain carbon, which is what scientists need to determine age. But remember those tiny holes I mentioned? Inside those holes, they found something organic. They found resin. Resin is a sticky substance that comes from plants and trees, kind of like tree sap. And resin does contain carbon, which means they could test it. When the results came back from the laboratory, everyone was stunned. The resin inside the Buga sphere is 12,560 years old. Let me say that again so it really sinks in. 12,560 years old. Give or take 30 years. That's not a typo. We're talking about something that was created when mammoths were still walking the earth. This was during a period called the Younger Dryas, which was a time of crazy climate changes on our planet. Some scientists think a comet or asteroid hit Earth during that time and caused all kinds of chaos. To put this in perspective, this sphere is older than the Egyptian pyramids. It's older than the ancient civilization of Sumer, which most people consider one of the first advanced civilizations. It's even older than Göbekli Tepe, this mysterious temple in Turkey that archaeologists thought was the oldest advanced structure ever built. The Buga sphere pushes our understanding of advanced technology back thousands of years earlier than we ever imagined. Now, Dr. Greer did point out something important. Just because the resin is that old doesn't automatically mean the whole sphere is exactly that age. It's possible that whoever made this thing, or whatever made it, had to do maintenance on it over the years. Maybe they replaced the resin from time to time, kind of like how we change the oil in our cars. So the sphere could actually be even older than 12,500 years. Just think about that for a second. We might be looking at technology that's older than anything we've ever found in human history. But the age isn't even the craziest part of this story. The Buga sphere has been doing things that make absolutely no sense according to our current understanding of physics. When it first landed, something really strange happened to ground around it. All the water in the grass and soil just disappeared. Not evaporated like when the sun dries up a puddle. It was like the sphere sucked all the moisture out of everything around it, using some kind of invisible energy. Scientists have no explanation for how this is possible. Then something even weirder happened. Researchers decided to try an experiment. They started chanting ancient Vedic mantras near the sphere. Vedic mantras are these sacred sounds from ancient India, some of the oldest spiritual practices known to humanity. And guess what? The sphere responded. It sent out an electrical pulse, like it was reacting to sounds. This wasn't random static or interference. This was a clear, measurable pulse of electromagnetic energy. It was as if the sphere was listening and responding. And here's the part that's making headlines right now. The sphere just did it again. It emitted a second electrical pulse, and this time, scientists noticed something that sent chills down their spines. The pulses are coming in a repeating pattern. Not random, not accidental. A pattern. When you see patterns in nature or in signals, it often means something is trying to communicate. It's like when you hear Morse code, those dots and dashes that spell out messages. The pattern suggests that whatever intelligence created this sphere might be trying to send us a message. Dr. Greer explained that electromagnetic energy is definitely coming out of the sphere, but they're not entirely sure why. One possibility is that when the sphere hit those power lines and crashed to the ground, it got damaged. Maybe whatever energy system or propulsion system it uses is now malfunctioning, sputtering along like a broken engine. But here's the really incredible part. The sphere has anti-gravity properties. It doesn't use any fuel source that we can detect, and there's no radioactivity. This means it's using some kind of exotic energy and propulsion system that we don't understand and can't even begin to explain with our current technology. Think about what this means. Someone or something created a device over 12,000 years ago that uses energy systems we haven't even figured out yet in the 21st century. We're talking about anti-gravity technology. We're talking about a power source that doesn't need fuel and doesn't produce radiation. This is technology that would revolutionize our entire world if we could understand and recreate it. We could have vehicles that float without using any gas or electricity. We could have energy systems that never run out and don't pollute. This single object could change everything we know about engineering and physics. Scientists have also been studying the symbols carved into the outside of the sphere. These aren't just random scratches or decorations. When experts looked at them closely, they started seeing similarities to ancient patterns from the Olmec civilization. The Olmecs lived in what's now Mexico, and they're considered one of the earliest major civilizations in Mesoamerica. Some researchers have used advanced artificial intelligence to analyze the symbols, and the AI found something fascinating. There seems to be a shared symbolic language, what one researcher called a spherical grammar, that connects these symbols across different ancient cultures separated by huge distances and thousands of years. But Dr. Greer urges caution here. He points out that when most experts first saw the sphere, they felt like those symbols were carved by hand after the sphere was originally created. The sphere itself is clearly made using very advanced, high-tech manufacture methods. But the symbols look different, like they were added later. So the big question is, did whoever or whatever built the sphere also carve these symbols? Or did ancient humans find the sphere thousands of years ago and add their own meaningful symbols to it? Maybe ancient people discovered this object, didn't understand what it was, but recognized it as something important and sacred, so they marked it with symbols from their own culture. The Buga sphere also does something else that breaks the rules of physics. When it first came to Earth, it weighed one amount, but then it started getting heavier, multiple times heavier, yet its size never changed. It stayed the same volume, the same dimensions, but its weight increased dramatically. In our normal understanding of reality, if something gets heavier, it means it's either getting bigger or denser. But this sphere is getting heavier without changing size or density in any way we can measure. It's like the sphere is somehow manipulating its own mass or pulling in mass from somewhere we can't see. Scientists have documented weight changes of over 8 kilograms, which is about 18 pounds. That's a huge difference for an object that size. There's also this cooling effect that nobody can explain. The sphere seems to absorb heat from its surroundings and maintain a temperature lower than the environment around it. This is called an endothermic effect. And while we see this in some chemical reactions, We've never seen anything sustain this effect continuously without any visible energy input or chemical changes. It's like the sphere is an eternal air conditioner that doesn't need to be plugged in. Right now, more tests are being done. Scientists are working on figuring out the exact chemical makeup of that ancient resin. They want to know exactly what plant or tree it came from and how it was processed. They're also studying those hair-like filaments woven into the metal and the resin, trying to understand what they're made of and what they do. Some researchers think these filaments might be part of a fiber optic communication system, but fiber optics are supposed to be a modern invention. How could something from over 12,000 years ago have technology we only developed in the last few decades? Another test that's underway right now is gamma ray testing. This kind of testing might be able to tell us something huge. It might tell us whether the materials in the sphere are from Earth or from somewhere else in the universe. Different places in space have different ratios of elements and isotopes because of how stars create elements and how those elements spread through the universe. If the gamma ray tests show that the sphere's materials have ratios that don't match anything found naturally on Earth, then we have strong evidence that this object came from somewhere else. Either it was made by beings from another planet, or it was constructed using materials that came from beyond our world. Some people are skeptical, of course. Whenever something this extraordinary comes along, there are always people who think it must be a hoax or a misunderstanding. But the testing has been done at a certified university laboratory with proper scientific methods. The carbon-14 dating results are real. The electromagnetic pulses have been measured and documented. The weight changes have been recorded by multiple people. The cooling effect has been confirmed. These aren't stories or legends. These are measurable, repeatable observations that scientists are struggling to explain. What makes this even more fascinating is the timing. The Buga sphere appeared in March of this year, which means this story is unfolding right now, in real time. We're living through what might be one of the most important discoveries in human history. Every few weeks, new information comes out. New test results arrive. New observations are made. This isn't some ancient mystery that happened long ago. This is happening now, and we're all witnesses to it. The implications of the Buga sphere are absolutely staggering. If this object really is 12,500 years old and uses advanced technology, then we have to completely rethink human history. Who made this? How did they make it? Where did they go? Were they humans with knowledge we've lost? Were they visitors from somewhere else? Did an advanced civilization exist on Earth long before the civilizations we know about, and then something happened to them? Maybe that asteroid or comet impact during the Younger Dryas period wiped them out. Maybe they left Earth for some reason. Maybe they're still out there somewhere, and this sphere is their way of saying hello. And what about those electromagnetic pulses with their repeating pattern? If this really is an attempt at communication, what is the sphere trying to tell us? Is it a warning? A greeting? Instructions for how to use it? A message left behind for future generations to find when they were ready? Some researchers think the sphere might be like a time capsule or a beacon, designed to activate when certain conditions are met. Maybe hitting those power lines and crashing to Earth damaged it in a way that turned it on. Maybe the Vedic mantras triggered something in its programming. Maybe it's been waiting for 12,000 years for someone to find it and wake it up. The sphere's anti-gravity properties alone could revolutionize our world. Imagine if we could figure out how it works. We could build cars and planes that hover without engines. We could construct buildings that float in the air. We could send spacecraft to other planets without needing massive rockets and tons of fuel. The energy source powering the sphere could solve our climate crisis and energy problems forever. No more burning fossil fuels. No more nuclear waste. Just clean, unlimited energy based on principles we don't yet understand. But there's also something deeply humbling about the Buga sphere. Here we are in the modern world, with all our computers and smartphones and space stations, thinking we're so advanced. And then this object shows up and reminds us how much we don't know. It reminds us that 12,000 years ago, someone or something had mastered technologies that still seem like magic to us today. It makes you wonder what else is out there waiting to be discovered. How many other artifacts might be buried under the ground or sitting in museums, misidentified as simple ancient art, when they're actually remnants of lost high technology. The Younger Dryas period, when this sphere was created, was a time of massive change on Earth. Temperatures swung wildly. Ice sheets melted and reformed. Sea levels rose. Many large animals went extinct. Ancient legend from cultures all around the world talk about a great flood or catastrophe during this time. The story of Atlantis, the mysterious advanced civilization that supposedly sank beneath the waves, is said to have happened at the end of the Younger Dryas. Could there be a connection? Could the Buga sphere be a remnant of that lost world? It's impossible to say for sure, but the timing is certainly interesting. What we do know is that the scientific community is taking this very seriously. These aren't fringe researchers or conspiracy theorists. These are credentialed scientists at major universities conducting proper peer-reviewed research. The fact that they're willing to study this object and publish their findings shows how significant they believe it to be. Science is supposed to follow the evidence wherever it leads, even if that evidence challenges everything we thought we knew. As we wait for more test results to come in, the Buga sphere keeps everyone guessing. Every new discovery raises 10 more questions. Why does it look like it was made by hand in some ways, but with advanced technology in others? How did ancient people get access to aluminum alloys that we didn't figure out how to make until the 1800s? Why fiber optic style threads in something over 12,000 years old? And most importantly, what does it try to tell us with those electromagnetic pulses? Some researchers have suggested that the sphere might be responding to consciousness itself. The fact that it reacted to Vedic mantras, which are meant to be spiritual practices that connect human consciousness with higher states of awareness, is intriguing. Could this device be attuned to human thought or intention? Could it be a tool for communicating across dimensions or through time? These ideas sound wild, but when you're dealing with an object that already breaks multiple laws of physics, you have to be open to possibilities that seem impossible. The Buga sphere is a reminder that our planet holds secrets we're only beginning to uncover. It's a reminder that history might be far more complex and mysterious than what we read in textbooks. It's proof that there's still so much to discover, so much to learn, and so much that can surprise us. Whether this sphere came from an ancient lost civilization on Earth or from somewhere beyond our world, it represents a bridge between the distant past and our present moment. It's asking us to expand our thinking, to question our assumptions, and stay curious about the mysteries that surround us. So what happens next? Scientists will continue their research. More tests will be conducted. More papers will be published. And hopefully, we'll get closer to understanding what the Buga sphere really is and where it came from. But even if we never get all the answers, this discovery has already changed things. It's shown us that ancient times might have been far more advanced than we imagined. It's demonstrated that objects can exist which operate on principles our best scientists can't explain. And it's given us hope that out there, somewhere, there might be intelligences far beyond our own, and maybe, just maybe, they're trying to reach out to us. The second pulse is not just a repeat of the first. It's a continuation of a message that started over 12,000 years ago. Someone or something went to the trouble of creating this incredible device, preserving it through millennia, and encoding it with the ability to communicate. Now it's sitting in a laboratory, sending out its signals, waiting for us to understand. The question is, will we? And what will it tell us when we finally crack the code? If this story has blown your mind like it's blown mine, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button right now to help this video reach more people who need to hear about this incredible discovery. Share this video with your friends, your family, anyone who loves mysteries and unexplained phenomena. And definitely subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any updates as this story continues to develop. More test results are coming soon, and trust me, you're going to want to be here when the next revelations drop. The Buga sphere is rewriting history right before our eyes, and we're all part of this amazing journey together. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll dive even deeper into mysteries of our ancient past and the incredible technologies that might be hidden all around us.